we're talking Pisces now. Mutable water, ruled by Jupiter.
I'm excited to talk about Pisces. So spiritual, religious, mystical, depending on the Pisces. The most creative, I think, of all the signs. Also the most sensitive. Compassionate for sure, but also just sort of emotionally sensitive. Pisces can be so watery. And actually, I think that is the light side of Pisces. They tend to really love water. It's good for Pisces to live near water. They like to take walks sometimes near water or drink a lot of water, take baths, go for swims, cry more than the other signs. Anything watery. Very empathic, value harmony. Pisces are generous almost to a fault. They can give so much that they overgive, but their generosity is certainly on the light side. Imaginative and soulful and artistic. They often have great taste in movies and music and anything connected with the arts. They really appreciate the beauty of the world, and they have a faith in the future because of the way in which they're able to see beauty and their spirituality that is really lovely.
Yeah, they're incredibly empathic, intuitive. Their powers of intuition are somewhat unparalleled. If there's a lot of Pisces in someone's chart, they are generous and willing to sacrifice, especially for their children. They're really willing to put everything that they value on the line for the people that they love, which is quite a beautiful quality most of the time, which I guess we'll get into that. I think that there's I think you might have used the word allure about Scorpio. I think Pisces also has a very strong alluring quality too, because they have this sort of mystical quality about them, and it is watery and it's very sensual. Yeah, they're very attractive people often, and certainly creative, artistic. They're tapped into that sort of collective imagination that's flowing around us at all times. They can sort of pull from that and create these beautiful works of art, whether they're writing or music, sort of divinely inspired sometimes. And that empathy makes them great shoulders to cry on. They have true, sincere compassion for others and for the personal struggles of others. So a Pisces in your life will often be just to show you so much empathy and compassion and sympathy if that's what you're looking for. If you're just going through a hard time, and Pisces really has a lot of compassion for that. They're also incredibly flexible. I find that they go with the flow so easily, and that is the nature of water. But where some signs might fight against a sudden change or a sudden obstacle that arises, Pisces just really just kind of rolls with it and has this nimbleness to them that I'm in awe of sometimes when I watch Pisces navigate challenges or just sort of like shrug something off and find a kind of a novel way around an issue, or just they wait for it to play out and maybe take action later on. I don't know, they just have this great flexibility to them. That reminds me of how water flows around rocks.
When I talk about Pisces in a reading, I talk about how water comes in to fill any vessel that you put it in. You know, if you put it in a bowl, it takes the shape of the bowl. You put it in a vase, it takes the shape of the vase. And that Pisces is like that. That mutable water, it is so amazing. I like your image of it going around a rock. It's like whatever Pisces is around, it can connect with. I'm really good at connecting with all kinds of different people. Sometimes can just take on personality or effect of whoever they're talking with. Even just checking out a line at the grocery store, they'll just sort of mirror whoever they're with so naturally they don't even realize they're doing it.
Speaks to the overall tenderness of Pisces as a sign, just such a tender sign.
It really is, which you would think at the end of the zodiac it would be tougher, but it's kind of Pisces really can read any horoscope and it would apply to them because they sort of absorb everything around them so much that they take on all the other signs, which is a great lead-in perhaps to talk about shadow side. Yeah,
it is. Dissolution of boundaries, which Pisces is very comfortable with. Pisces have a reflexive need, I find, some of the time or much of the time, to dissolve boundaries and to merge with people and to merge with what's around them, whether it's emotions that are in the air or the spirit of something, or just sort of an urge to just merge into universal consciousness, right? Or just not have boundaries. And that can create issues for Pisces that need to merge with others or with certain situations. It can become an addiction to or an overuse of substances. Pisces does have, Pisces, the sign of Pisces, we have use of substances to sort of reach those mystical places, right? Or sex. It can come through sexual union and just seeking sexual union more than perhaps is healthy in their lives, and just all in their quest to merge. So, and also that quality of sacrifice for others can also work against them in terms of martyrdom, or not pursuing their own needs at times in favor of other people's needs, and so they become victims in certain situations, and they can be easily abused or emotionally abused by others. It's not across the board, I'm generalizing, but it's certainly something to be aware of with Pisces energy, that others might take advantage of that Pisces sacrificial quality. Their imaginations are so strong and they're so artistic and creative that imagination can run wild sometimes, and they might feel like they see things that might not be there. It's the nature of Neptune, right? There's a fine line between divine inspired creativity and illusion and delusion. So the idea of delusion and illusion is that can obscure the reality of certain situations, see outcomes that really are not viable. So Pisces does take flights of fancies quite often. Yeah, and that hypersensitivity too. That sensitivity can become hypersensitivity at times.
It's interesting how sensitive is sort of on both sides of the equation for Pisces. So for them, trying to stay on the light side of that sensitivity, with sort of without taking it too far, being able to be attuned to the world without taking it all in is something for them over the course of their life. Completely agree about the overdoing it with escape mechanisms, whether it's drugs or alcohol, relationships. Also sleep sometimes can come in with Pisces from their desire to merge. They can kind of escape and merge through oversleeping. Sometimes Pisces can be difficult to work out problems with because they do want that harmony so much and they do want to merge so much. So they might just sort of like apologize too quickly or overpromise or, try to say what needs to be said to end the conversation. Or Pisces can also be known to sort of just escape a conflict. Maybe even stir up a little trouble and then kind of run out the back door and let the chaos unfold while they're out of the scene. Sometimes not so great at self-care because they are so focused on the other. So that's something for them to work on over the course of their lives. It comes together generally as they get older. And then I think just sometimes you can just sort of get lost with a Pisces. You can get lost with them literally because they're out of it and they forgot where they're going. You can get lost with them in conversations because they're changing the topic. It's just, it's a lot of fun, but Pisces can be a bit all over the place. And yes, easily deceived. They can be deceived and hurt by others because they're so compassionate. So sometimes that compassion can be viewed as weakness and it can be taken advantage of by people.
Yeah. Yeah, highlights, there's so many to choose from. I chose their empathy/intuition, which are, I guess, two different things, but kind of the same. They're just incredibly empathic and, a soft landing place for those around them, and they can extend that empathy to others in ways that's really beautiful. And in terms of the low light, I'm loath to use the word addiction. It's not quite the word I'm looking for. It's that merging, that urge to merge, which is addictive behaviors. I mean, I'm not going to call all Pisces addicts, right? It's like there's addicts of every sign, and we're all addicted to something, whether it's sugar or work or whatever. But that they really should watch out for, as you use the word escapism, that can work against their health if they're over pursuing or overusing something in their lives to help them merge or solve boundaries and kind of numb pain as well. So, how about you?
My highlight and low light for Pisces are quite similar. The highlight is actually something we haven't mentioned, I guess, quite directly yet, but goes with everything we've been saying, which is just that I think that Pisces wake us up. You know, they say these off-the-wall things. They're so spiritually connected. They're so compassionate, and I feel sometimes like they're here to just wake us all up and say something that kind of makes you go like, wait, what? Oh, okay. And then you kind of weren't paying attention, but now you are. And so I love that about a Pisces. They keep us guessing and make us think about things in ways we haven't before, draw amazing connections, and just, wake us up with the way that they see the world. And then the low light, I just was thinking, sort of going along with that self-sacrificing side, that I think it's something that anyone with a strong Pisces signature at one point in their life will have to learn the lesson of the not overgiving and being too self-sacrificing. They're likely to be taken advantage of in some way at least once and have to sort of learn that lesson the hard way because they're just so generous that that tends to happen.